everyone. This is the third year that we are doing the van lifing, and we would like to share with you what we drive, what we have, why we have, the advantages and disadvantages.
We have a Ford Utilimaster step van. That means it's a Ford chassis, a Ford E350, and the body for it, or the can as I call it, is built by Utilimaster. It's an aluminium body with a fiberglass roof.
So why did you choose, because you were choosing the van, why did you choose step van? Not just a pretty anything else.
Yeah, right. As you often tell me, it's not that pretty.
It's not pretty at all.
The reason I chose a step van, I thought it was a great platform. It's called an LLV, meaning long life vehicle, and it's basically designed for 25 years of commercial abuse.
So it's durable.
It's quite durable. It's a very durable platform. I didn't know that much about Ford versus GM or whatever, but I'm very happy with the Ford platform. Ford has been very good for part service, and Utilimaster the same. It's been a great vehicle, and it's very easy to work with, work on, and because it's all aluminium, it's relatively lightweight, but it's also very durable.
How much effort you put in? I thought that you're going to put a lot of money and a lot of effort and way too much, but apparently Andy says that this is going to last for another 10 or 20 years. Is that right?
That's the hope.
At least it's built for that, right?
Right.
At least it's built. The other point, just before that, we were just discussing why we bought step van and why we bought this particular one. So the second point was about the size.
Yeah, the other thing with step vans is because it's a commercial vehicle, and this is designed for curb delivery, it has a very easy entrance from the side, the sliding door, which eliminates any need for having other doors inside the cargo area except the rear door, and that makes a little more real estate for building out the vehicle.
Well, when I see the Sprinters, they have large sliding doors, and that takes up space, which means in this particular place you cannot put anything, any shelves, nothing.
So that was a little more favorable. On the downside, we put a passenger seat where the entrance step was, so that makes it a little more difficult to get in, and that's just an incentive to remain fit.
Right, but we really do like it. Like I said, step van, it's nothing pretty to talk about, but I can stand up. There are vans, people live in vans where they cannot even stand up. They just have to squat or hunch over or sit. We can fully stand up. Not only that, we can stretch our hands, and I can barely touch the ceiling, which is fantastic because if you want to really stretch after a long drive, this is all you want to do, right? So you can even stand on your hands if you want to.
Yeah, this particular vehicle is sort of the average smallest step van available. It's a 12-foot cargo box, which means it's 21-foot overall length, and it fits into a standard parking spot.
That's huge. You can practically park and
it makes
spend the night anywhere.
Boondocking much easier, especially urban boondocking. We just fit into a standard parking spot. Because of the length and the width.
We managed even to park in crowded spaces, which is very difficult for larger vehicles.
And then step vans, this is the average sort of height and width. It allows us to stand up inside, like she already mentioned. We have about 6'6" with finished floor insulation on all that. And it's about 81 inches wide inside with the finished walls, insulation and all that. So we can have our bed sideways. And that's a big bonus as well. So we have some flexibility.
Well, why this is important, because sometimes we go on terrains that are not leveled, which means you don't want to have your head down, which means we can actually, instead of repositioning the vehicle, we can reposition ourselves on the bed however we like.
Right. And then another thing is I really like the sliding side doors. They can be left open and you can drive that way, so that offers a lot of ventilation. It is a utilitarian vehicle, so there's nothing plush or fancy about it. There's no power anything except the engine. Um, that's a potential downside compared to some of the fancier, newer vans that are out there where they are more car-like. This is more utility truck-like.
Not pretty, not pretty, not ladylike whatsoever. There's no way I could put tiles in here. It's not even a go, even though all the walls are straight.
Yeah. So, and the other thing I liked about it is the aluminum. The advantage is that it's relatively lightweight, strong, but it's also very simple. In order for most vehicles that are made out of sheet metal to keep the weight down, they make the sheet metal is relatively thin in order to keep it strong from denting. There's design folds in there. And when you're cutting into that for windows or any kind of accessories, you have to be mindful of that and see that you can somehow match it up. With this thing here, really no big deal. It's just one big flat surface, easy to cut a window in there. And aluminum is sort of like the wood of metal, I would say, because you can use basically most tools that are used for wood you can use on aluminum to cut and work with.
Question about, you said steel versus aluminum. Is there any cost difference? Is aluminum more expensive, cheaper?
No, aluminum is typically more expensive. That's the downside. However, on average, not going into too much engineering details, aluminum is about half the weight for the same strength ratio, roughly, as steel is. So that's quite a bit of a weight savings. However, this year vehicle has relatively thick aluminum panels in order to give it durability and strength, but therefore it doesn't need any contours or folds to stiffen the body panels. Almost full-size countertops and full-size benches with a 24-inch depth. And we have, in some places, we have almost 36 inches of aisle space. And at the top where the counter top comes out, we have about 34 inches. So we have a very generous width.
Yeah.
And that allows us to both maneuver through the van relatively easy. And it's a real bonus when you're with two people.
So we can reposition ourselves, and when you're driving or you're confined to a small space, you want to reposition yourself frequently. Otherwise, your body sinks into a specific mold, and then you end up having joint problems. And we do not want any of this.
Right. So to summarize, why a step van? Well, basically, it's just because it's a long life vehicle. It's designed for commercial abuse for 25 years. And this vehicle here is 20 years old. And it's still got a lot of life left. The body is very good again. I repaired everything that needed to be repaired. And then it's also the overall size. It fits in a parking spot, yet we can sleep sideways. And it was very easy to build out because there's no curved walls, no metal folds, no contours that we'd have to worry about. I didn't worry about putting screws or rivets in anywhere because the whole vehicle is like that in any case. We didn't have to worry about how we are ruining the pretty exterior, sporty design. And that made the whole build a lot easier. There's a lot of room underneath, which I utilized for extra fuel tank for the heating system, storage, that type of thing. It just made it a very functional vehicle.
And besides that, because it's boxy, we managed to make partitions, so we actually have 4 different rooms. The cabin, which we call it a viewing room, has huge windows. It's just wonderful to see what's happening around. I really love driving around and watch it. It's like a movie theater.
It has been described as a spaceship.
Spaceship, okay. Then we have a large place for the bed where we can actually have a king size bed. It's modular. We are going to talk about how we do it in a different podcast. So we have 6 pieces that we can move about, and we can end up with lounger chair, or we can have a king size bed, however we like it, but yet we still have a mobility in between. Then we have another room, which is, we call it kitchen, and then there is a bathroom at the back, and believe it or not, we have a partition between the bathroom and the kitchen for privacy. So even though there are 2 of us, we can safely say one can stay in the kitchen, one stay in the bathroom. We don't interfere on each other, but it's really very functional. We even have the vehicle is so large, we managed to squeeze in, not even squeeze in, 8 people were sitting while I was cooking in the kitchen without being squeezed out. And there was still more room because cabin was not inhabited at that moment.
Yeah.
So it's just wonderful. And this particular van comes with their transparent ceiling. It's just incredible because we have natural light all day long, which most vans do not have, even other step vans. We cut out 4 windows, 2 windows in the ceiling and 2 windows on the side, which makes it very nice during the summer, during the day. At night, you don't care, but then we have plenty of light too. Okay, but we will talk about the insides at a different time.
Right. That was our choice. That's our reasoning.
Oh, we love it. If you want to see it, we'll be at RDR 2020, and we're right now traveling. This particular video is made at Thai, Ontario, and as we're going to go through Sudbury, North Bay, Winnipeg, Saskatchewan, Calgary to Vancouver, and then going south through West Coast towards Arizona. So if you are on our way, stop us by, ring us. We are on Facebook, we are on Instagram. You want to see our rig? We are pleased to show you.
Right. Hit us up.
Yeah. Until next video.